All right, so the fourth step in the sales cycle is the close. The close has been construed as maybe a negative part of the sales process or a manipulative part of the sales process. I'm an old school sales guy in 20,000 hours. I'll tell you, I've learned every sales line. I've learned the ridiculous close. I've learned the think about it close. I've learned about um, any close you can think of. I've used, I've done. And what I'll tell you is the close is not as strenuous, and all of those extra closing lines are not needed, again, if you qualify appropriately and you present the right product. Here's my closing line 90% of the time, 99% of the time. Hey, do you want the policy to start today, tomorrow, or the beginning of the month? And when I'm asking that question, here's what I'm doing. I'm taking temperature. So I'm checking the temperature of the person. Now, if they say to me, well, hey, I got to check with my spouse, a lot of times I've already asked the qualifying question, is there anybody else I need to show this to? And so if someone says, let me show this to my spouse, I go, well, wait a minute. I thought the last couple times you got insurance, you just got some and she just, she kind of just agreed with it, or that'd be okay because you've always done it. And they might, yeah, well, let me make sure, and this, that, and the other. And the only other pushback I give to that is I won't what they call one leg it, or I won't just try to convince that person to do it without their spouse. I'll say, hey, look, if we want to go through this with your spouse, let me get on the phone with them as well, and let me re-explain it to both of you guys. I don't want someone to re-explain a product that I barely understood when I started and they barely understand, because there's always something lost in translation. So the close is really about just writing the application, in my viewpoint in today. It's about just writing the application and taking temperature. I want to make sure the person's on board by softly asking, do you want it to start today, tomorrow, or the beginning of the month? Or do you want it to start tomorrow or the beginning of the month? And a lot of times that. Or the other closing line I'll say is, and if I know that they want it to start the next day because like, oh, I just lost it, I need my insurance to start right away, I'll just say, how do you want your first and last name on the policy? And they'll tell me. And if they go, well, my name's spelled Alex, and my last name is spelled Haracha. I don't know, just making up a name. But when you're closing, a lot of the times it's just taking temperature by what you might call option closing, giving them an option. And when you give them that option and they pick the option, you know that they're in on it. And then it's just doing the paperwork. Again, if you want to learn a bunch of closing lines, you can. But the close is really just about wrapping up the policy, writing it, and a way for it not to be weird. Because a lot of times, and this is how it gets weird, a lot of times people will present and they'll go, all right, are we doing this? Or, okay, do you want to do this? Don't say that. You always take the temperature by saying, all right, do you want to do this product A or product B? How do you want your name on the policy, viewed on the policy on your insurance card? Or the third one, just say, when do you want this to start? Tomorrow or the first of the month, or whatever dates, right? Again, if someone says to me, I need to think about it, the only thing I do here is I'll say, totally fine. Let me get you on my calendar. And they go, no. I'll follow up with you. And this is what I say. Hey, let me put you on my calendar, because if I don't, I'll forget about you, number one. And number two, I'll feel like I'm being irresponsible by at least not touching base with you. Now, if I call you in a week, and let's say they said, okay, call me in a week. And I say, look, and if it's, let's say you can feel some tension or pressure, I'll say, look, when I call you in a week, this is not about, hey, are you doing it or not? Are you going to take the policy or not? I'm literally just touching base with you. If you need another week, another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, you let me know. I am here to be of service and of value to you. Again, I am trying, we are trying, you're trying to build trust in clients to send you referrals and to work with you indefinitely. You're selling yourself and building trust. And that's how you do that in the close. You're honest, you're forthright, you're transparent, you're responsible in making sure you keep up with them if that's the case. But simple option closes are all you really need in the close. Again, if you've done the qualifying and the presentation correctly.